Um, First of all, thank you, Father John, Jack, for your willingness to consider me, to meet, to talk to my family, and now, give me this opportunity at Notre Dame, which is really special. So thank you so much for that. I'm indebted to you guys, and I'm just glad to be here and can't wait to get started.
The Penn State men's basketball team is heading back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2011. They'll kick it off on Thursday against Texas A&M in Des Moines, Iowa. Brian Tripp joined by head coach Micah Shrewsbury. Coach, the last couple of weeks, obviously very emotional for your team. What was it like to see their reaction when they went up on the bracket?
It was actually a different feeling and something that I've never been through because we had just lost a game, probably 20 minutes right before they announced our names. So you still have that feeling of you're disappointed that we didn't get a chance to win a championship. But that goes away as you're sitting there with the excitement of, man, we're going to get a chance to play in the NCAA tournament now.
Bert Smith, Byron Jarrett, our three officials, Amy Bonner, the standby official, and away we go. Texas out of the Big 12, Penn State out of the Big 10, and it's going to be their first Sweet 16 since 2008, and that is going to do it. Dessou with the rebound. The Texas Longhorns are moving on to the Sweet 16.
Penn State's dream run to the second round of the 2023 NCAA tournament was ended with a hard-fought loss to Texas. Their season ended in the same round it did the last time the Nittany Lions played in March Madness, which was 11 years prior, back in the 2010-2011 season. While there was clearly sadness for the loss, there was hope. Hope that Micah Shrewsbury, a young up-and-coming coach with a great background, was able to build something here on Happy Valley. Building something that perhaps nobody had been able to do before him. The only problem, Shrewsbury, only just 2 seasons at Penn State, announced that he would be leaving his tenure early to join Notre Dame as the new head coach. Shrewsbury's departure raises questions. The first question you might have is, why would somebody leave the momentum built at Penn State for a middling Notre Dame program? A fair one, but if you consider the history, the reputation, and the successes of these programs, that answer might become more clear. However, the bigger question to ask is not about Shrewsbury, but about the program itself. How? How has Penn State failed to establish a prominent or at least relevant basketball program while they have seemingly unlimited money, have a top 10 brand in football, and reside in a power conference with incredible relevance and resources in the Big Ten? How has Penn State only been to 2 NCAA tournaments in 22 years? How have they never won a Big Ten title? How, or maybe why, can they not be successful in keeping a coach like Shrewsbury? There are a few factors, I presume. Before looking any further, it's important to bring up a quick disclaimer. In the 2020 season, Penn State was a surefire March Madness team that looked poised to make a run. Led by pro Lamar Stevens, this team had real talent, real momentum, and just concluded a great season. Their demise this season, however, was something entirely out of their control.
Continuing our breaking news coverage on CBS Sports HQ, I'm Chris Hassel with Amanda Guerra. The NCAA making it official. The NCAA tournament has been canceled for 2020.
A team in a season like this could have played a major role in shifting gears, establishing a culture here at Penn State. While there is little history to be celebrated with this program, this team was robbed of the opportunity to create their own history.
Well, here's the issue. Are you going to invest a tremendous amount of money into something that has not produced at a high quality? Or do you need them to produce at a high quality first, and then you'll invest the money? It's a chicken and the egg kind of thing. So the bottom line is the number one reason I can tell you why Penn State basketball has not built a great tradition is the school is in the middle of nowhere. And there's not great high school basketball around State College, Pennsylvania. So there's no natural recruiting background within footprint within the local region. Again, you're talking about a lot of small high schools, not a bunch of Division I players within 150 miles of Penn State in any direction. So for Penn State to be really good, they've got to go steal recruits out of Philadelphia, say. But why would a recruit from Philadelphia come to Penn State when there's no tradition and they're also getting recruited by Villanova and St. Joe's and LaSalle and Drexel and all those programs. So
location is clearly a major issue for Penn State basketball, specifically on the recruiting end. Putting boots on the ground and establishing a talent pipeline to a nearby hotbed like Philadelphia is a major challenge when your program is in the middle of rural Pennsylvania. It was this that former head coach Pat Chambers knew would have to be done. A Philly area coach that brought in the likes of Lamar Stevens, Tony Carr, Shep Gardner, and others. Chambers succeeded in bringing in players, but after his stint with the Nittany Lions ended, those ties broke. Now that we've established that location and recruiting is a major issue, let's touch on another. One of Penn State's biggest opportunities is also one of their biggest challenges. They reside in the Big Ten, home to some of the highest caliber basketball programs in the country. The good? They get to the opportunity to build a tournament resume every night by going up against high-ranked teams. The negative? Well, they have to play one of the hardest schedules in the country each year, continuously showcasing on national broadcast how their program doesn't have the same brand or commitments as others in the league.
while, look, I can't be remiss. We got to point this out. They're in the Big Ten. The Big Ten has been the best conference, or one of two best conferences in college basketball during the regular season, not in the postseason. No national championships for the Big Ten since Michigan State back in 2000. But the Big Ten is the first, second best team in the best league in the country every year. And so Penn State is going up against fantastic competition every single night. And even if you have a pretty good team, a team that could compete a lot better in the Atlantic 10, a team that could compete a lot better in the ACC, quite frankly, because that's really a top-heavy league with a lot of times it doesn't have a lot of balance. There's so much balance in the Big Ten that has created a big logjam for Penn State because you're fighting so many other teams.
All in all, as Corey puts it, it's a chicken or the egg scenario. Penn State struggles to recruit high school prospects because there's no tradition built. They can't build a tradition because they miss out on high school prospects. The difference with Penn State basketball and others in a similar situation is that key history piece. The way that many people describe Penn State's basketball is pockets of success, not sustained success. With the departure of Shrewsbury, Penn State brought in coach Mike Rhodes, who just last season led VCU to an A-10 regular season title, A-10 tournament title, and a trip to March Madness. They hope to build a culture under a guy like Rhodes who brings a basketball background to Happy Valley.
There hasn't been sustainable success. There hasn't been 4 or 5 straight years of just getting after it and with great success. And that's got to be our goal. We got to build it to last. We got to build it to make it sustainable, that we are in the top 25, that when we're going on the road, people are saying, we're going to get this one. Like that's number one is belief, right? You got to give belief.
Rhodes knows that a major factor holding Penn State back is their basketball facilities. Basketball recruits are just like any other college kid. They want cool stuff.
But the things that we need, without a doubt, we need to upgrade our facilities. They're not where they need to be in the Big Ten. We'll get there. I believe in Pat Crap. I wouldn't have come here if that's not going to be something that I know is important to him.
So, what's the key to unlock that sustained success Penn State needs to establish tradition? As we've discussed, they need the school's administration to really buy in beyond football. They need updates to their basketball facilities. They need perhaps an established coach like Mike Rhodes, who has state college ties growing up only 2 hours away. But the main thing, to build and recruit through the transfer portal.
Well, I think the biggest key for Penn State, and there are other similar kinds of programs around the country like this, and it's the transfer portal. For years, we talked about Philadelphia creating a pipeline, and again, Patrick Chambers was doing that. But right now, with the transfer portal, and you've got 35 and 40% of college basketball players transferring every year. I mean, think about that. 35 to 40% of the sport is moving on. That's staggering. So if you're a good player and you come to Penn State and you have a good year, you may not stay for 4 years. They were the kind of program that needed to build guys up, and by the time they were juniors or seniors, you could have your one shot. Right. Well, now they're the kind of program that needs to go land the one big fish every now and then in the portal, or get 3 really, really good-sized fish. They got the one big fish in Jalen Pickett. They had another good-sized fish in Andrew Funk, who went wild in the NCAA tournament with shooting threes. So the portal, to me, much, much more than high school recruiting, because I just don't think Penn State's ever going to be a gigantic factor in terms of high school recruiting. But if you can hit some home runs in the portal, create a style that can convince the right kind of guy to come, that would be your avenue for potential success.
New coach Mike Rhodes agrees with this strategy. Not only did he bring in a collection of his best players from VCU, including the A-10 Player of the Year point guard Ace Baldwin, Rhodes is committed to a transfer portal strategy.
I'm here to build this to last. A quick fix and then we'd just be right where we're at again a year or two from now. The biggest thing to me was we're going to do this right. We're going to find fits. And now it's not always perfect, and you hope you're 100% in recruiting, but you're not. But the biggest thing to me was find guys that want to be here with us, want to be at a place like Penn State, and want to play in our style.
What do you think? Do you think Penn State could ever get to a point of national relevance? Do you think they can use the transfer portal to their advantage and establish themselves as a contender in the Big Ten? Do you think they can build tradition here in Happy Valley? Let me know in the comments.